you hear me stop talking for any amount of time, don't worry, it doesn't necessarily mean that we've lost audio or lost quality of the stream. Just kind of sitting and enjoying the show. So I'll be here the next hour talking about what bears we're seeing, try to describe some of their life histories, and hopefully give you a little information about Brooks Falls and all the stuff we're seeing here on the cams. If you have questions about what you're seeing, feel free to enter them into the chat. I do try to check from time to time, but I can't guarantee that I'll be able to answer all your questions. Other chatters may be able to answer your questions. We've got a great community of bear watchers here. So strap yourselves in and enjoy the show. A little earlier in the evening we had bear 409 fishing the lip of the falls, bear 128 fishing in the riffles area. And now this sow with 3 yearlings has showed up. I'm still not quite sure who this is. If anyone wants to take a guess, throw your thoughts into the comments there. Looks like posting reel says 171. If you got another guess, let us know. If this is indeed 171, this would be your second litter. And we haven't seen her around Brooks Camp a whole lot this year. There's one kind of unconfirmed sighting in camp a few weeks ago. And as you can see, there are a ton of fish at the falls right now. Last night we had a really big group of salmon swim up the river, and they've now reached the falls and are jumping over in force. And the salmon do that intentionally. At least they've evolved to do that, because they overwhelm all their predators. Even a bear can only eat so many fish. And that's the reason that we don't see the falls absolutely packed with bears right now. Most of them have already come, eaten what they can fit in their bellies, and have to go rest. And that lasted on the bushes over the winter. Maybe if they're lucky, they got a taste of some animals that have died over the winter time, some carrion. But up until really last night, the salmon fishing has been pretty tough. And you can see she's just making it look easy here. Earlier today, if you'd been watching the lower river cam, you're probably seeing quite a bit of action down there. We've got a question here asking if the bears are fishing down there because the water is so low, and a couple other rangers and I were talking about that this morning. We do think that the lower level of water of the lake affecting the mouth of the river there has made fishing a little bit easier for the bears. Easier to pounce on fish and pin them to the bottom. Upriver in the Brooks Lake and some tributaries that flow into the Brooks Lake. And they've now returned 4-6 years later. And as we see that mother bear standing up on her hind legs, it's not necessarily an aggressive posture. She's just doing that to get a better look what's going on around, maybe get a better smell of what's going on. Always on the lookout for other aggressive bears that might pose a threat to her and her family. And it looks like from glancing at the chat just now, the lower river cam was not working today. Just to catch you folks up, we've been maybe waiting for certain bears. Bear 719, sometimes referred to as Princess, did show up last night and again this morning. And if you're new to the bear cams, you're just tuning in for the first time or you're finding it this season, all the bears here are numbered. We monitor their behavior and interaction with humans. And we can kind of differentiate between them based on physical characteristics, behavioral characteristics. So if you want to ever try your hand at identifying any of the bears at Brooks Camp, there's a link at the top of your screen to the Bear ID book. That's a great guide for helping you determine which bears you're looking at. And I myself used the bear book myself. I just glanced at it to see if I could get an idea of whether or not that bear looked like 171 to me, and sure did from the pictures in the Bear ID book, and I certainly trust the